write it different ways, but I got my inspiration was to write it through poetry.
Poetry.
Yes, I tried many times to do it like a novel, like most people. It just didn't hit. It has to click, and it
Yes.
just wouldn't click that way. But it clicked through the poetry, and this is how I've written it over many years. I have a lot of if you notice in book, you will see poetry from 2011, 2000 maybe 9. So I have written for many years, but just never did anything with the book. Just stayed, I just had it saved somewhere. I even have taped my voice, and this thing. But with this COVID and being at home, working from home, and I'll write. My daughter said, "Mommy, why don't you write?" I said,
Yeah.
"I'm writing all the time. What am I writing for?" She says, "Write, mommy, write. Why don't you write? That's what you do. Why don't you write?" And I kept hearing voices in my head, publish your book, publish, get a book. So that's just basically that's the truth. And you hear little things tingling in your head, to do something. And I just decided to search for a publisher, search for someone to help me in the process, because it's not unless you really know what you're doing, But I surely don't know anything about publishing. And I found this gentleman online. He lives in Florida. His name is Donat Mitchell. And when I saw him, he popped up up on the screen, and I said, send him a note. If you're legit, send me a note. If you're legit, respond. And he responded. And then the rest is history. I have a bestseller here.
Oh,
You
good
know,
for
yes,
you.
I
Good
have
for
a
you.
bestseller.
How long has it been available? Because I know it's available on Amazon.com. How long has it been out?
Yeah, it came out in December. It was launched December 9th. I had a lot of difficulty getting it launched because when I submitted the book in November, Amazon gave me a tough time. They're very tough, they're very strict, they're very tight with their rules and disciplines and principles. So I had to follow it to the T. And every time I would submit it, I had to send it back to the book designer to do what little fine corrections or whatever they needed to do. But eventually, after 3 weeks or so, the book was published, and then took off from there. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, in the beginning of the book, you talk a lot about your sister. Was she also an inspiration for this particular book?
Well, yes, yes. Yvonne really encouraged me to write. Actually, Yvonne and my dad, they really encouraged me to write. They always said, you do poetry, you do it so well. You're an author, write. You should write. You should. So when I used to write, I used to send it to her, and she said, "What are you going to do with this?" A couple of them I put into DNO. A few of them I put on Facebook and a publishing page I have, but the majority of my work is still here. So she really did inspire me to write. Her 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 presence is so strong. She's passed on, but her presence is still so strong in my work that had to put it down. Put it on paper, put it down to people to read. And my work, it inspires other people. People see themselves in my work. A lot of my reviews I've gotten before over the years. The people tell me some people I don't even know, international. They would respond telling me that I'm speaking to them, and which is a positive thing.
Yeah,
So
so what are some of the topics we can find? You speak of motivation, but what are some specific topics that you cover? I know in one of them you have an account where I think you experienced your sister was it a bird or a butterfly
oh
at the
yes,
beginning? So
at the
what are some
beginning.
of the topics that you cover? Or maybe you can even read us one of the poems so we can see what's in the book.
Okay, I can go down through the content here. Let's see, the table of contents. I could just read. I have and I write in series. I'll write a poem, but it'll be 7 different poems written to the same like a story. It's in series. So then, yes, I have a poems on my sister Yvonne. Then I have floods of emotions. Floods of emotions. It's on the emotions through her passing. Around the time that she had transitioned. So these are emotions that I went through at the time. So this is what it's about. And then I have on Dominica. I wrote on Dominica. I wrote on an experience. Some lady came to me and she was talking about Dominica. I also wrote on Convent. I wrote on Convent High School. Actually, Convent Small School, we called it. There's
Mm-hmm.
Convent Prep School. Back in the days in 1958, 1960, we called Convent Small School. But I
Mm.
started Convent in the old academy in Roseau,
Mm-hmm.
as across the street from the Bishop House on Virgin Lane. Right. So I started school in 1958 at the Old Academy. I did 2 classes there. Yes, I was in Miss Garat's class, which is a very well known name in Dominica, and Miss Booley's class. Actually, Miss Booley is always Booley's mother. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like 2.5, 3, and in those days, Montessori, you could start Montessori at 2.5, 3. So I have poems on a series of poems on the small school, Convent Small School. Then I also have passionate poems on passionate what sister relationships, and I have one on pretense togetherness. Pretense togetherness covers all aspects of life. It covers all aspects of life, dealing with as it says, pretending your feelings. There are so many deep feelings. Everybody's under the surface.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretending to be one thing, and the matter of fact, they're not. So then I have poems on that, and inspirational. I have inspirational poems. I have one on seniors, the how you deal with seniors, you know. So
So would you consider yourself more of a poet? Would you consider yourself a poet, or you just write in general, and whichever way it wants to express itself, that's the direction you go?
um I write according to how the inspiration falls.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever is shown to me, I write on it. I
Mm-hmm.
write it through poetry. I also write it through, you could say composition, text, So I write it through different formats,
Mm-hmm.
the different formats to my work. I'm a poet, yes, I write poetry, but I also do it in different formats. People
Mm-hmm.
say lyrical, they say all different names, all different terminologies, for the
Mm-hmm.
same thing, So, yeah. Um, so I hope I've explained it,
Yes, yes, definitely. And of course, we're looking forward to the interaction with the audience. We have quite a captive audience on the live with us right now. So we're looking forward to your interaction. We have Alex Banis who says, congratulations. We have
Thank you.
Patricia who says, very interesting. So again, thank you everyone for being here with us. Again, if you joined us late, this is a Dialogue presentation, the book launch of Miss Rosalind Severin McClean, and she's telling us all about her new book, which was released and published in December, called Oceans of Thought. So she's just kind of walking us through her inspiration for the book. And now, Rosalind, this is a book number one. I noticed that it said book number one. So kind of tell us where you're going with this.
Yes, actually, I have a lot of work that I'm sharing, I should say. So book number two is in the making. Yeah, I have probably will do. I don't want to put a number on how many books are coming out, but there will be a few. I this book one, that's the beginning, and then we have book two. But that I'm focusing on music.
Mm.
My experience with music, because I'm actually a musician as well.
Mhm.
Although we were not really considered as musicians, because in Dominica, I would say, because that's where I'm from, they look at only a band, or someone playing a band, or someone who is popular as a musician, but they don't see other people's work in music as well.
Because you were part of an only girls band, the first and only
Yes.
girls band in Dominica. So tell us about that.
Yes, we had a band. I actually the band started with me. I'm the one who started the band. Similar because I started playing for Dr. Wattis Choir. They were called the Goodwill Singers back in those days, like in the late 60s, early 70s. And I played for one of his concerts, the guitar, because I taught myself the guitar. Because I could read music. I was taught piano lessons from the time I was about 6, 7 years old, all the way up till I was 23. I was taught piano lessons by Mrs. Rosemary Kuslatic. Yeah,
Mm.
Mrs. Kuslatic. She taught me piano. So I knew how to read music. I knew theory. So when Miss Dr. Watty asked me to play, I played for that first concert. And then he asked me to play again for another concert. And I said to him, Jennifer Fadell Jennifer Fidel Johnson was in Dominica at the time. And I said, call Jennifer. And that's where the duo started. We had a duo, Jennifer and myself playing. And
Mm-hmm.
from there, the band was formed. We had an older William Schoenfeld, we were all friends,
Mm-hmm.
lived around the same neighborhood. And we had Jean Monroe who passed on. We had Ella Butler on the drums, Nola played bass. I played the organ, well, that's the keyboard, they call it now, and the rhythm guitar. No, Jennifer Fidel played the lead guitar, so we formed this band. And we were all Convent High School students.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Of
played
course, convent girls.
convent girls, we're all convent girls here. But there's a little hiccup in that because the convent had some instruments, and we thought we played for different events on those instruments. Events like the SMA, St. Mary's Academy, had a function. We played there, played at Parish Hall, we played in the convent. But then we wanted to play more songs. We wanted to play
Mm-hmm.
other tunes. And Sister Jose in those days wouldn't allow us to play pop songs.
Wow, because you guys were from the convent high school.
In high school, we had to play only holy songs, "Oh Happy Day," and this type of things, which was fine. But then we decided, we remember we were young teenagers, 13, 14, 15. We wanted to play other songs. We hear all the pop
Mm-hmm.
tunes on the radio. And we took a chance to play in the school hall. And Sister Josie heard us. That was it.
Oh Lord, that was the end of that
That
was
was
the
the
end of the
end of the
band.
school band. Yeah. No, that was the end of the school band. But we decided we were going to continue playing. And that's when the Missing Dimensions was the title. We got the title Missing Dimensions because
Mm-hmm.
when we played in the school, we had no name. We were just playing music. But when we
Mm-hmm.
decided, we said no, we have to find a name. And of course, I came up with a name. We were all looking for a name, and I came up with Missing Dimensions. And Jennifer Fidel says, take out the G and put a apostrophe. And we said,
Oh
missing.
boy, like you're singing it.
Yeah. So we did that, and the band took off. The band took off for
Did
a
you guys get to
lot.
like travel or anything?
No, no, no. And remember, we
Okay.
were teenagers. We were young
Yes. Oh,
teenage
that's
girls.
true. That's
So we
true.
couldn't leave Dominica. We could play
Yeah.
anywhere in Dominica, but we couldn't leave Dominica and go anywhere. We were
Mhm.
like 14, 15, 16. We were young girls.
Right, right,
But
right.
we played tremendous amount of places in
That's
Dominica. We played at a
good.
lot of places. We were well known back in the 70s,
Mm-hmm.
for the band. We were the only all-girl group at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And in the region, we're talking about the regions, not only Dominica, but all over the Caribbean. There was no other girl group like
Yeah,
ours.
and maybe it's time for another one. That's a great idea to have an all-girl band from
Yes.
Dominica representing Dominica. I think that would get some attention.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm hoping
Hmm.
that when book two comes out and everybody reads book two, they will see the intent and the intensity of the band and what we did. Because it's going to be a long book. The poems on the band is practically half of the book. Because it's a
So
lot.
so you're in the process. When can we expect that book too?
Well, hopefully the book will come out like beginning of the summer. Hopefully, or
Mm.
even before that, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
in the process of transcribing and putting it together. It takes a little
Mm-hmm.
time to actually do it right. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So hopefully it should come out by in the summer. It
Mm-hmm.
definitely come out this year.
Yeah, yeah. So I know you have quite a few ideas in mind for other books to come. So we're
Yes,
looking forward to
yes,
seeing that. And we
yes.
have more comments coming in on the Facebook Live. We have
Okay.
Annette Phillip who said, it's a really good poetry book. I truly enjoyed it. Marceline Edwards says, oh, I think she was speaking to somebody else. I'm sorry, Marceline. She
Uh,
says, thanks to Aura. So, and then Tina Bell de Ramon, I like to call her our Facebook historian because she's such a valuable asset
uh-huh.
to what we're trying to do here on Facebook. She says, I'm here taking it in. I remember to the all girls band. So she
Oh, she did.
remembers
That's
you
great. That's
guys
great. Yeah.
had
Quite
a
a few
band.
people have us. Yeah, they have us in mind because I brought it back to life. I've been doing a few interviews on the band and
Hmm.
letting people know, yes, we did exist. We were there. We were part
Hmm.
of the 70s trend of band of
Hmm.
musicians in Dominica. And we were
Hmm.
not just written by ear. We read music by the book. In other words, we
By the
could read
reading.
music. We knew
Hmm.
theory. A lot
Hmm.
of the band members, they played music and they played by ear. They played
Hmm.
but we didn't do it like that. So at
Hmm.
least, you know. So hopefully we get some credit.
Yes,
Dominica
yes, yes.
recognizes the band.
Yes,
And
yes.
yeah, and
And Dr. Dangleben says he's looking forward to getting a copy, and he reminds us that we must celebrate all our writers, and that is so
yeah,
important. And that's what we do at Dala. We celebrate our writers. We're a group of very passionate Dominican writers, and we put together various events. Actually, we have a poetry competition coming
okay,
up, which I will talk about at the end of the program.
yes.
And that's what we're here for. We're here to promote our Dominican writers, promote our art.
Mm,
And if anybody's interested and would like more information, you can always check us out right here on Facebook, Dala, Dala, or you can check out our website, which is da slash dash, not slash, da dash writers.com. So you can always check us out. Now, Rosalind, let's just talk about, because a lot of times so many people have the idea to write a book and it simply sits on the shelf because they do not know where to start. They face constant obstacles. Did you face any obstacles in putting your book together? Just kind of tell us about obstacles that you faced along the way and how you overcame them.
Yes, well, there are lots of obstacles that, we go through when you're trying to put it together. For me, the obstacle was actually getting someone to help me, I had all the material, I had the manuscript, I had all to get into the book, but how do I put it together? How do I arrange it? That was the question.
Mm-hmm.
How do I do the categories? Because I would think that you can't just put all the poems, jumble them together. You have to have a format. What
Mm-hmm.
goes first? What goes second? How do you do it? What do you put it? So that was my main setback, until I found Mr. Donald, and he coached it. I took a class. I took his publishing class, and through his publishing class, I was able to know how to go about putting it together. This is the main thing: is having the work, having the idea, and writing down the idea. Don't be afraid to write down your idea. You can always go back and edit it. So
Mm-hmm.
you write down whatever comes to mind, whatever it is that you're doing or you feel that you want to do, and you put it together. And you let's know you have to have your work edited, or
Mm-hmm.
proofread. Proofread
Yes.
is more the word, yeah. So
Yes.
that really was my obstacle, not knowing what to do and how
Mm-hmm.
to put it together. Although I
And
had all
you,
the material.
Yeah, and we have several authors on the live right now, and I know I
Mm,
can speak for all of them, including Annette,
mm,
Dr. Dangleben, and myself. And one of the techniques that we use to write is we
mm.
use our cell phones. You get an idea, there's a note section in your cell phone. If something comes to you, you just grab your cell phone and you make a note of it. So I found myself when I was writing my book, I would wake up 2 o'clock in the morning, I have an idea, I grab my phone, I write it down. Because guess what? If you leave it until tomorrow, you're going to forget it.
That's
So
right.
it's
But
just knowing these little tips and tricks. And what we're planning on doing with Dala is we're
yeah.
going to have workshops, right?
Okay.
So we're going to have workshops on topics such as writer's block, right? How to organize your writing, how to
Yeah.
get published, the different options for publishing, because now you know that there's self-publishing through Amazon,
Yeah.
or you can seek out a company to publish your book, and the importance of having an editor. Because
Oh
I have
yes.
to tell you, I wrote my book, it was perfect, it was awesome. And then I passed it around to a couple of people, and they came back with so many
Any errors?
mistakes
Yes, yes, yes.
that I would have never seen in a million years.
You definitely need a proofreader. You need
Mm-hmm.
somebody to proofread your work. Because
Mm-hmm.
the proofreaders are trained, all the finer points. I also took a editing class. I took a class with CUNY, to as to how to edit and to put my work together. So I had a little knowledge on that because I already took the class. And I remember you said about you use your phone to write the notes. Well, I guess I'll remain old fashioned. I get a pen and paper.
Yes, that
Or even
too.
so,
That
a
too.
pencil. There's something with the pencil. I don't know if it's the lead or I'm just old fashioned or my mind is old
Yes.
fashioned, but I get a pencil and paper and I jot
Yes.
notes down.
Yes.
I have paper all over the place.
Yes.
And I know where to get it. Don't touch my
Mm-hmm.
paper. I put it there. I know where it is. And then I come looking. And even I have a whole set of books too, set of
Mm-hmm.
notebooks. and I'm writing notes as I'm going along, and I get an inspiration. I'm just writing, and I listen a lot to inspirational speakers. So then
Mm-hmm.
I write little things, and when I go to write, I know where to go and pick it up. I say, "Don't, I had this in this book. Did you touch
Mm-hmm.
that book?" And I'm going, So yeah, so I go through that too. Nowadays, people using their phones, but I don't rely on the phones for that.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
what
I
works for
relate that.
you.
Yeah.
Because guess what? I was in college and computers were readily available and I was
Uh,
still writing my essays and all my
uh,
assignments
by
paper
hand,
and
yes.
pen and then typing it on the computer. I had to force myself out of that habit when I was working on my masters because I
Uh,
was like, you're doing the work twice. But
Twice,
at
yeah.
the end of the day, it's what works for you.
What works for you?
Right?
Yes.
What works for somebody else, it doesn't work for you. You stick to what works for you.
Right. That's
Right?
true. That's true. Yes. And another good thing for writing, I find, as I mentioned, you just write your ideas down. You just write it.
Mm-hmm.
The way it comes. It may not sound right after you read it, but that's the way it came. It came
Mm-hmm.
in that inspiration, it came in that format, and you just keep writing it just as it is. And then you go
Mm-hmm.
back to it, then you can edit and make it make sense for the reader. For
Mm-hmm.
you, it's perfect for you, but then you have to do it in a way that it can be read, someone else can read it. Because you're writing
Mm-hmm.
not for yourself, you're writing for someone else to read it.
Right.
A lot of people may think, well, oh, I wrote this. No, you're writing for someone else to read it.
Mm-hmm.
Think of
And
it how you would look at the
right.
composition, the back of
Mm-hmm.
the composition. I still stuck in the old fashioned composition or the essay. Think of how you
Yeah.
the essay. And funny enough, at home I never read. I never read books. I didn't want to study. I couldn't study. I was failing all
Interesting.
my classes, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't care.
Right.
No,
Interesting.
I never read. My mother would
Mm-hmm.
say, "Go read a book like your sister," and I would go climb the cover tree.
It wasn't the time. It wasn't the time.
No. And then I would
Mm-hmm.
I would say sing a song or read or say a poem in my head, and they would say, "What are you saying?" So all
Mm-hmm.
this time I have this thing ticking in my head, and people didn't understand me,
Mm-hmm.
But I never bought a book.
Mm-hmm.
I bought music books though, whenever
Right,
they were
right, right. Because
available.
that was your interest.
That was my interest. But as far as
Mm-hmm.
reading a poetry book or reading a Shakespeare, I did
Mm-hmm.
Shakespeare in school. Of course, we had to do those things, but I never bought a book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying this conversation with you, Rosalind. And of course, we always want to keep our eyes on the Facebook comments. And Annette Phillips said, yes, I use my phone. And I know that she does that because I've heard several of her interviews.
Mhm.
Maslin says, you are so right on taking down the notes at 2 a.m. and
Yes,
all odds time. My friend said, keep the notepad by the bedside. Great idea. Tina, exactly. When I remember something, even the phraseology, I enter it on my notes app, no matter what time of night. And then Patricia says, wow, Rosin, you have so much support on this live. I'm very
thank
happy
you.
to see this.
I'm very appreciative of that. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
Patricia
Yeah.
says, my husband, Melchior Fontaine, wrote a book on how he healed diabetes. For him, it was fun. He could not believe he wrote a book. Congratulations to all writers. And let's take one more before we talk about the importance of having the right support. Alice Severin, the person has your name, so maybe
My
related to
sisters.
you.
Yes, yes, my sister. Yes.
Oh, nice to see you.
Yeah.
Enjoying this interview. Best of luck with advertising this book. Ordered the hard copy and waiting patiently for it. Nothing like the book in hand. Yes,
Yes.
so tell us, so
Thank
the book is
you.
available both physical copy and e-copy?
Yes, the book is on
Yes.
Amazon, available on Amazon,
Hmm.
both ebook or the Kindle
Hmm.
and hard copy. So
Right.
you get it on Amazon. It's ready to ship.
Hmm.
And I am actually on the bestsellers list, so which is a plus for
Hmm.
Dominican authors. I look at it as a plus for women authors,
Hmm.
Dominican women authors.
Hmm.
We have
And
to
a
be
lot
on
of
the bestsellers list.
Yeah, and a lot of people are always curious about how do you get on the bestsellers list. So how did that work for you?
I believe, well, my coach is the one who actually was a backbench of this. I believe it's
Mhm.
through the launching, getting people to be on the launch and to support the launch when you launch the book. I think that's where it
Mhm.
starts. I think
Mhm.
because they are the ones in management and they're the ones who know how that runs. But
Right, right.
yeah, but you try to put your book in categories according to what
Mhm.
you write, And this is what you learn from Amazon. I learned that through the process.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's more on the launch, trying to launch a book, trying to have a successful launch. And
Mm-hmm.
so this is what it's I think it is.
Well,
Thank
congratulations.
you, thank you.
Congratulations on that. And
So,
before, we talked about the importance of support. I also know that your daughter played a very important role with this project. So you want to tell
yes.
us how she was instrumental with assisting you with your book?
Yes, most definitely. I give her a lot of credit to Multi McLean. I give her a lot of credit, a lot of thanks and gratitude because it saved me a lot of money, because actually did all the computer work, putting it in the template, organizing it, formatting it. Because I made sure, that's what we were taught, to have your book in such a way that when it gets to the professional formatting, and so they will not have a problem if your material. And she did all that. She did all the computer work for the book. All the computer work, all putting it in the script, even editing, because they know a lot of stuff that you don't know. And I tell
Mm-hmm.
her, well, I educated you, so you're supposed to know more than me. That's it. I send you to school. You have your degree. You were educated. You know more
Mm-hmm.
than me. So,
And she's more computer savvy, so why not
oh
use the
yes,
skills right around the corner from you?
yes, because even for this live, she had to be here to put it on. I'm like, where do I
Mm-hmm.
go now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm happy.
Absolutely.
Yes, and thank God for her. Thank God that she was. I said to her, if you don't do it, I have to pay someone to do it. So the money is going to go out instead of staying in. And
Mm-hmm.
that's basically what it is. So it is good to have that kind of support.
Mm-hmm.
Someone there with you. Because even if actually, like, I'm trying to get the seal for the best selling author, and I have to do it through the Upwork, because I have
Mm-hmm.
the guy who did the gentleman, Pan is in India, who did the book cover. So I
Mm-hmm.
have to relate to him now to try and get him to adjust the book cover. So all that's, I have to get on, come on, 2 o'clock in the morning. Come on, let's talk to this guy. What do you want me to say? So she's the one there, and she says, okay. And thank God she's helpful, helpful in it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's enjoying the process. So I'm thankful for
Yeah,
that.
so
Just
it seems
encourage
like it
everyone,
it 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 really does take a village, and maybe when we are
Yes,
discussing on a dollar workshop how to become a best publishing author, maybe you can
author.
join us for that
I
discussion.
sure will. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I
because
sure
we're
will.
just
Yeah.
trying to network. We're trying to pull our resources together to be
Right.
able to help our community. And Anna does confirm that
Mm.
it depends on your reviews, your sales,
Yes,
and your categories. And I think a lot
yes.
of times we don't recognize the importance of having the right categories
Categories,
for
right.
our books and subcategories as well, from what I
Yes,
understand.
yes. A
Yeah.
subtitle. Definitely the subtitle is one of the things that we stress. We
Hmm.
definitely need to have a subtitle that will explain what's in the book, something that will catch your
Hmm.
audience, the readers. Because
Hmm.
Oceans of Thoughts, book one. What's
Hmm.
Oceans of Thought? People are thinking of all of the things, but Oceans of Thought is the oceans of the waves of your thoughts. It's not only the ocean in the sea that's an ocean.
Hmm.
The waves, your thinking is an ocean. The cosmos is an ocean. So
Hmm.
your thoughts, the thoughts is what make actually your makeup of thinking, your inner speech is your thought. So I named it Oceans of Thoughts because I couldn't think of anything better than to, on a spiritual level. And
Hmm.
it is also spiritual as well as it is, on a natural everyday level. So people can
Hmm.
understand, they catch it. So then the subtitle explains what it is. It's an inner walk through the inner self.
Hmm.
It's about your inner self, your inner being, how you think, how, I mean, it's for me too. It's not only for people, it's for me too. I'm talking about myself. And I
Hmm.
talk about myself and encourage you to see yourself through my work. You
Hmm.
understand? So this is like what it's all about. And
Yeah.
all the books I write from Oceans of Thoughts will be on the same level. You see in
Hmm.
your inner self, you see your inner being, your inner spirit through my work. Because my work talks to you. And everyone so far has told me, they can relate. They see themselves, I have some pieces that I wrote, and I've gotten some reviews, some people who international audience. And they're wondering how I come to write that. I say I'm talking about myself. Because
Hmm.
I'm talking about me, what I've been through. you
Yeah, and
know.
I think a book such as this is so important during COVID-19. And I want to talk a little bit about if that was the reason that you try to get it out in December. But before we do, I just want to remind everyone to please share this live, share this video so we can continue to generate support for our Dominican authors. We can continue to generate support for our talent, for the people who are part of our presentation, and also to follow Dallas. So we are right here on Facebook, and you can follow us. You can click the notification button to find out when next we will be live. And now, Rosalind, were you expecting another guest? I think there's someone at the bottom. Were you expecting someone to join us?
Not that I
No.
know of,
Okay.
you know. Yeah.
It says Judy, so I'm not sure.
Oh, oh, Judy.
She
Oh, this is my cousin. Maybe she's trying to join
she
in
some
the.
she somehow got on the she got the link from you for the
Uh,
from
also,
the for
she's
the
looking at it.
yes, she no
Okay.
she's part of the broadcast. Would you like her to come in and
Oh,
say something?
yeah, yeah, she would want to. Sure,
Okay, are
she's
you
okay with
interested?
you.
Nod your head, Judy, if you would like to come on. Okay, I can't hear you, but we'll try to bring her on for a quick second because she's here.
Oh, she is.
Oh,
Oh,
hi,
Judy,
Roslyn.
hi.
I'm just listening and watching. I'm in the car. Actually, it's a beautiful day, so I'm outside as well. Hi. Say hi.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Well, just
Oh,
say hi because for some reason you're on the broadcast, so you might as well say hi and congratulations to
Hi.
Roslyn.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
okay, bye. This is interesting.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was interesting. Oh, wow.
Yeah, because for some reason I saw she popped in on the broadcast, and I thought, well, you must know her, so
Yeah,
she can
but
just say
I try to share
congratulations.
everything. Oh, thank you. I try to share everything, but I don't know much about the computer, so I must
Yes,
share the
that's
wrong thing.
fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I
So
think you meant to share the Facebook where it'll be
yeah.
available on Facebook, but that's
Oh,
fine. We
okay,
welcome
thank
all
you.
the support we can get.
Yes, yes, thank you, thank you. I would like to mention one of the about the convent. When I wrote about convent, and
Mhm.
and it just so happened that I was putting out the book about convent, and just at the right time, I was trying to find pictures of the convent of the old academy of back then, and of the oldest wooden building, the small school, the convent.
Mhm.
And no one seemed to know that in Dominica, that convent was in the old academy. I couldn't believe it. I was, what do you mean?
Wow.
No one? I called convent prep. I spoke to the principal, and she was so shocked. I
Mhm.
called the bishop's house, I mean, the rectory, and the girls working there. No one knew. And I said,
Hmm.
this is the right time the book is coming out because I'm calling
Yes.
for pictures to put. I
Mhm.
mean, I got some pictures eventually, but for the
Mhm.
actual pictures of the old building by itself and pictures of the old academy, how it was, no one seemed to know. And that was,
Interesting.
yeah. So that means to say
Mhm.
the history is not being told down there. The history
Not
actual.
even with Lennox Church because I know he
He
does a
didn't
great
have any
job.
pictures.
Wow.
He didn't have. He knew about the old academy. Yes, of course, because I'm
Mhm.
sure he must have gone there himself. With Raymond Lawrence went to the old academy, but no one had pictures. But I'm
Interesting.
talking about the actual school itself because I would have thought, that they would have a picture or something at the
Mhm.
school to let the students of today know that the school did exist, and no one seemed to have known. So I said, okay, that's fine. My book
Mhm.
is coming out. So the
Yes.
history of Dominica, a history of the convent back in
Uh-huh.
the 60s is in the book.
Right.
Yeah,
Interesting. Thank you for that. Now,
yeah.
before we get ready to sign off, I wanted to read some of your reviews from Amazon, if that's okay with you.
Oh, sure. Of course. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, so I'm looking at one. Learn Life Lessons is the author, and she says poetry takes a special kind of writing skill set. I agree. I don't mess with poetry. And Miss Rosalind has this skill. She takes you on a journey that has you wanting for more. I am learning more about life and appreciating the people in my life more because of oceans of thoughts. Get your copy today. Very well said. Another one, thought provoking and relatable. Well written. Your poems evoke the unspoken words and carries one into experiencing your memories. Could relate to the experience of losing your sister. Thank you for the read. And then just one more, because I think these reviews speak volumes about your book, Rosalind.
Thank you. Thank you.
The Journey Back Home. The poems in this book brought back so many memories of home. I also related to the experience of losing a sister. Miss Severin McClean evoked the memory of my sister, bringing a smile to my face. The poems are an easy read, flowing into real life experience of youth, making you remember the good old days of attending school, learning, the nuns, who can forget the nuns,
No,
the fun, remembering friends, the sunny days growing up in the Caribbean, innocence. Very
yes,
nice. Thank you
yes,
for the memories. Awaiting book two. So
yes,
some folks
yes,
are anxiously waiting book two. So what
yes.
are your thoughts on the reviews, Rosalind?
I'm very appreciative for the of the of what they have people has said. Actually, it's very true how they express themselves. Because these reviews, I'm hearing a lot of similar reviews from other people who actually have not put reviews on Facebook, but have on the Amazon. But I've had other reviews because I did open mic here and in New York, and from the audiences, I have similar reviews from the audiences there. Especially when I did the open mic and I did the poem on my sister. One of the poems on my sister I did, and everybody was thrilled. They came up to me and telling me about same sort of thing that relates to their sister when the sister passed. So I have had a lot of these similar reviews from other people. International audiences. I always say international because we are Caribbean, Western, and Dominican people. So I say international, meaning other nationalities. So yes, and I'm very appreciative. It gives me encouragement to write
Yes.
more. It really does. Sometimes you get some people telling you other things, but I
Mhm.
don't. I just more or less,
Block
look
them
up.
out.
Yes, and
Mhm.
look up to the higher consciousness and see and write through there. I was going to. I remember you mentioned something that
Yes.
read up
Yes.
something from the. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, going through all the poems, wondering which one to read on. But since we've been talking about one right now, I will just read a short. Maybe one or two stanzas from one of her poems. I said, yes, she's my sister too. Floods of emotions, oceans waves flow, rivers of waters, tears overflow. What happened? A lambing fit, strange sacrifice, daring conflict. You headed the team, knowledge and wit, tight-lipped, momentous tip. Yes, she's my sister too. Continuous conversations we shared, intelligent, creative beam. You stuck by my hip with sister glue. We were unseparated. We were very close. Everything it seemed. What? What happened? You halted on precious feet. Yes, she's my sister too. A gifted pianist you were, from childhood throughout life. You gave of yourself. You gave to family. Pure selfless service. All through your life. You were brilliant in your prestigious career. Diligent through your work and in music and dance and culture. You were a rare gem with a sweet, gentle love and humble spirit. You were specially chosen with a genuine heart and strong faith. Yet, you suffered through the stigma of unfavorable plights, shadowed with your beautiful personality, your spreads of joy, your precious smiles, your hearty welcomes. You told me all. You told me all. Yes, she's my sister too. Last text message from you. Going to the hospital. Don't call me now. Words unforeseen. No previous warning of your failing health. Distress unmeasured. Discontentment prevailed. Say hi and bye. Hurtful cry. She must not be stressed. Shocked, I complied. Yet, yes, she's my sister too. Numerous phone calls, numerous phone calls unanswered, numerous text messages unreturned, numerous inquiries unfulfilled, moments of continuous plea undelivered, travel plans unresolved, conflicted demands overall. Tell her, she can hear, tell her, it is me, precious moments, irreplaceable, yes, she's my sister too. Then she was told, she stared, looking at the sound of my name. At last, she knew I was calling. At last, that fateful morning, at last, she heard my name. At last, just one more time. At last, peace. In transition. In transition. Yes, she's my sister too. Floods of emotions, ocean waves flow, rivers of waters, tears overflow. That was written in June 2017.
Wow, beautiful,
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
I can see why the reviews are so powerful. That
Thank
was
you. Thank you.
absolutely heartfelt. And again, our sympathy for the loss of your sister, of course.
Thank you. Thank
But
you.
I think she's looking down on you and smiling because I know she was one of the persons who was
Yes.
encouraging you, and we have some clapping in the comment sections as everyone is applauding your work.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, this I did this one also at the open mic at Flushing Town Hall in Queens, and I got very good reviews and standing ovation and everything from the people. So that even gave me more encouragement to actually do the book because I had done the open mic before I even started doing the book. You know, I did it right after 2007, 2018. You know, so this gave me a lot of encouragement to to do this, and I'm happy that other people can relate to it. So it's very authentic. Authentic. It it's just very true. You know, it's very honest. 'Cause my book
Right.
actually,
Yes.
it's about my life experiences. So at first, I remember people saying, "Who wants to hear about your life? Who wants to hear about your life?" But it's not just that. I'm on a different space.
Yeah.
I'm in a different realm. I'm just that's basically it. I'm not in the you know.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know how to explain it.
I'm happy. I think a lot of us are happy that you did not listen to the naysayers and the doubters. So just kind of remind us where we can buy the book, the cost of the book, and especially it seems like a lot of times folks want the book to be signed by the author. So if you have an option for that as well.
Okay. Yes, the book is available on Amazon. It's only 14.99. It's not very expensive.
Not at all.
Yeah, this is something too with my coach. He helped us, well, the people on his team, how to price your book. You know, that's a very important thing. How you price your book. You know, books in the same genre of what you're doing. So this is what it is. And so also for Dominica, I got getting some books at Jay's bookstore,
Mm,
particularly maybe sometime in May because it takes time to order, time
yes.
for it to get down there. So yeah, people are asking in Dominica. So those who don't have Amazon, they could get on the land itself. So yeah, so I'm doing it this way. And for the autograph of the book, well, because of the COVID, I don't have the book signing together. That's one of the reasons. But as soon as things open up and things come better, I will definitely plan, to do the. I have to
Book
plan to
signing.
do the book signing, a book
Signing.
signing event, one way or the other, because people have asked me, many have asked me to do that, and so I'm looking
And of
forward to
course,
that.
if anyone wants any additional information, they can also send you a message on Facebook through
Oh,
Facebook Messenger as well. So they can always reach
definitely,
out
yeah.
to you through there. So do you have any final thoughts as we get ready to
Yes.
wind down? And again, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your life experiences as a way to motivate and inspire us. So do you have any
Thank
final
you.
words for us?
Yes, well, actually, I think I will mention too. I have a website. They can also reach me on my website, rosinseverimclean.com. My book is on the website too. So, and then of course I have Facebook, I have Instagram. YouTube, or So yeah, so you could reach me on those different platforms. And what I would say is that I would encourage people to write your thoughts. Don't go through the motion. Buy the book. Read the book, and try to understand where it's coming from and where I'm coming from, and how that book can help you.